Hi, everybody. My name is Manuela Keller, and I'm from Messe Stuttgart, the show organizer of Sun Shading Expo. I'm here today with Will Hanke from Window Treatments Marketing Pros, and we are happy to welcome you to our first Knowledge2Go online session, Optimizing Your Google Business Profile. So I'm handing over to Will. The stage is yours.
Thank you, Manuel. I appreciate the opportunity. So today we're going to be talking all about optimizing your Google business profile. So I am going to share my screen here. So give me just a minute. Okay, there we go. So we should be able to see my screen now. So as I said, my name's Will Hanke. This is part of the Knowledge2Go online sessions from Sun Shading Expo. Excited to be there next month. And today we're going to be talking all about optimizing your Google business profile or your Google listing. A couple of things that we'll talk about today include the 5 biggest challenges that could be preventing you from getting into what we call the Google 3-pack of results. And we're going to talk a little bit more about how you can get into that 3-pack and why it's very important to do so. We'll talk about a couple different tools, how to get more reviews. And then the big one here, first up, is what's new now? So what new things have they come up with recently? A little bit about me real quick. My business is called Window Treatment Marketing Pros. I wrote a book called Triple Your Window Treatment and Awning Leads. We won the SEO blog top rated SEO agency in 2020, 2021. And we just got notification that we won for 2022 as well. So very excited for that. We are a family-owned business and a veteran-owned business as well. We are a Google partner as well. We've gone through that certification series. So does Google Maps matter? So when you do a search in Google, especially for a local intent or a local related search, usually for some sort of a business, right? You're trying to find some sort of a business. The things that come up are a couple ads, and we'll see this in a minute, and then what we call the Google 3-pack, and then the organic results. So those things come up in that order. 71% of the clicks go to the 3-pack or the Google business profile area, and the first couple organic results in Google. The one thing you'll notice here is that not a lot of people click on the pay-per-click ads. Some people do, obviously, but for the most part, 71% of the clicks go to these 2 particular areas. Now, in a perfect situation, you would want something like this. You show up in the 3-pack, you show up first organically, and in some cases, for this client of ours, in this case, they actually show up in the second spot as well. So the really cool thing about the organic listings is by showing up twice, that pushed one of their competitors off the first page. So the more of these you can have, obviously, the better. And getting into that Google 3-pack is really the big driver for a lot of leads nowadays. Now, when we factor in mobile search, which is around 60% of all search now is done on a mobile device, it makes sense, which screen you should be focusing on. Most people on mobile devices are also making their decisions, buying decisions and outreach decisions for businesses from that Google 3-pack of results. In fact, here is a screenshot from one of our clients of the last, whatever that is, 10 or so phone calls and the source where those phone calls came from. And look at that, almost every single one, only one that did not come from Google My Business or the Google 3-pack. And this is the same across all of our clients. So yes, Google Maps definitely matters. You can't just rely on pay-per-click ads or even just SEO exclusively. You have to be in this Google 3-pack. So let's talk about what's new real quick. They used to have the 7-pack. Now it's called the 3-pack because it has 3 results in it. There is an opportunity to put an ad in that 3-pack results. If you're not ranking in there, you can actually insert an ad into that. It is very critical that you complete the verification process, and we'll talk a little bit more about that piece of it. Reviews do require real accounts, so they're trying to drive down all the fake reviews. And then some new things have come out just within the last couple of weeks around chat, messaging, frequently asked questions. We'll talk a little bit more about those things as well. So the days of the 7-pack are gone. Now there's just the 3 results. And as you can see here, the Google 3-pack is pretty significant on real estate for a local search. Now, the first thing we see here is Google home service ads. These home service ads or local service ads are not available for the window treatment, the awning industry, for some of these shading related industries just yet. They're available for roofers, and they're available for landscapers, and they're available for attorneys, things like that, but not for our industry yet. So we can kind of discount that for searches related to something that we would want. Then we have the ads, typically 2 or 3 ads. We have the Google My Business area or the Google Business Profile area. And then we have SEO pushed fairly far down the screen. So you can see that the Google 3-pack of results has taken up a good amount of real estate for any related local search. Now, when it comes to doing a search, in this case for window treatment stores, you can see the local service ads are gone. There are a couple additional ads. In this case, there are 4 ads there. And then the Google 3-pack showing up in there. So the objective, as I said, is really to own the search results. Try to be in all of these different areas, inside the 3-pack, inside the organic listings, everywhere that you can be. Now, when it comes to fake listings, Google's done a pretty good job. At least their PR team has told us they've done a pretty good job of reducing the amount of fake business listings. And you can see this big drop off that they did back in 2015. However, there was an article from the Wall Street Journal as soon as June of 2019 about all of the different fake listings that are still out there. And we're going to talk a little bit more about how to identify those, what you can do about those. Now, one thing that I mentioned that's happening right now is Google changed the name again of what we've come to call Google My Business. Now it's called Google Business Profile. Previously, it was called Google Places. They've had a couple names for it. At one time, it was just called Google Maps. And then they are also changing the layout or how these different 3-pack results show up. As you can see here, this search for window treatment stores in Memphis, we have the 3 listings on the left with a nice looking thumbnail, and then the map over on the right. This is the new way that they're rolling out within just the last couple months. You may be a little bit more familiar with this style, which was the map on top with the pins and then 3 listings below that. So these things are coming and rolling out across the country. I like the new design. I think it looks a little bit nicer and makes better use of the real estate as well. There also used to be an app called Google My Business. If you were using that app to keep track of your profile, things like that, they have discontinued use of that app. Now you actually just edit the information for your business right inside the search results. You can just go to Google, type in your brand name, your business name, or you can just type the words My Business and it will show up where you can edit those listings. Now, when it comes to listing your business, one of the things that they've always done is send you a postcard and send a postcard to a physical address to prove that you're there. They give you a PIN number. You plug that PIN number back in. This is the way that it's been for quite a while. However, they're starting to really make this a lot tougher. They still do the postcard, but in some cases now they're asking people to shoot a video of the location, take pictures of the front door, take pictures of signage, things like that. So they're making it a little bit more difficult to verify your listing, just to keep the amount of fake listings, hopefully to a minimum, right? And then they've also added in messaging, which is pretty cool. So clients can actually message you straight typically from their cell phone. They can use anything, but typically this is something they do from a cell phone. Hey, are you open? Hey, do you have this particular item? Hey, do you have this color fabric? those sorts of things can be done right inside this system. Now, the big key here is to make sure that you're replying to these messages. In fact, in the guidelines, there is something that says if you don't respond to them, typically within 24 hours, they will actually disable the functionality where people can't send you messages anymore. So very important that you do so, and that you turn on SMS alerts or text message alerts to your phone, letting you know that someone is sending you a message. You can do all this inside the Google Business Profile Manager, which is at google.com/business. So all of these things are available inside there. You'd want to use the messaging tab and then make sure to turn on those SMS alerts so you know when somebody is trying to reach out to you. You can also make sure you turn on the chat. That's how you do that. And then you can set a welcome message, which obviously should be fairly simple, but something that they see when they try to engage with your business right at the beginning. Lastly, they've added in frequently asked questions, and this just rolled out within the last couple weeks. So not a lot of people are seeing this yet, but I did get a couple screenshots, in this case for a dog walking company of all things. But we can use this as an example. So you can enter in the frequently asked questions that you get for your business. And right now they're giving us a max of 10 of those questions, and people can actually just see these questions and get them answered right on the Google Business Profile. So it's super cool. They see this as different buttons they can click. Obviously, they can type those in, but it's a really great way to engage with a customer right off the bat. And since you've built in those frequently asked questions, they get that response immediately from you, and that qualifies you for responding within that 24-hour period. So definitely worth building those FAQs once they start rolling them out across the US. All right, so let's talk about how to get ranked in the Google Business Profile. There are 4 pieces to doing so: citations, having a location, getting reviews, and then the on-page SEO, or the SEO that is done on your website. Now, I'm not a fan of slides with lots of words, as you've probably noticed, but these are the things that need to be done in order to successfully claim and optimize your business listing. Make sure that you don't add any keywords, spam any keywords, just put the name of your business in there. Use a local number, upload photos, things of that sort. Make sure, obviously, that you have your hours and then a list of services that you offer. Do every single one of these if you can, but do as many of them as possible will help you increase your listing. Now, as I said, the first thing you have to do is claim your listing. That's google.com/business is where you would claim it. Become the owner of that. They will send you a postcard, and hopefully that's all they do, and you're able to get that listing approved. Make sure that you use your real company name in here. Don't use a ton of extra keywords. Just put your real business name in there. In the back end, you'll see a tab called Info. Click on that Info tab, and this is where you would fill additional things out, like the business category, a description, opening date, your hours, phone numbers, all of those pieces of information that obviously they would want to get for your business. So a couple quick best practices: make sure to use call tracking to differentiate your lead sources. So we'll talk about this in just a second here. Update your photos often. So anytime you do a new install, anything like that, go ahead and just snap a quick picture and add that to your Google Business Profile. Be consistent about it. There's also something called Google Posts, where you can post different updates about your business. We would recommend you do that at least once every 10 days. So 2-3 times a month is great. And of course, if anybody posts a question, do you have awnings in red? Then make sure that you answer that question, because other people will then see that question and answer in your thread and potentially not call you because they already see the answer in there. When it comes to call tracking, 2 things that you need to do. add your real business number, obviously, but we put that number as the alternate number in Google Business Profile. Then you add a call tracking number as the main number, and a call tracking number simply forwards to your regular number. But then every time somebody calls that number, you know that lead originated from Google My Business. So you would get a different number for the Google My Business specifically. Don't put that number anywhere else. And then put that number in there as your main number. I mentioned posts earlier. You can do a lot of things in there. You can add offers, product updates, events, anything like that that's happening for your business. Definitely worth the time to get in there and do some posts. And then there is an insights area in here where you can actually see how your business is doing, how many times people are seeing it when they search for something, how many times it shows up in maps, what customers do. Do they click on the directions? Do they click to call you? Those sorts of things are all inside the Insights tab. So let's talk about a couple of things that could be hurting your overall rankings. These are things obviously you shouldn't be doing. First of all, you have to have a real office in the city that you're trying to target because they want to send that postcard. So you have to have a real place to receive that postcard. It's important that you don't use a PO box. You don't use a UPS store. They're starting to crack down now on co-working spaces where you do have a place and you tend to have a receptionist, but you're renting those out short term. So they're starting to crack down on some of those things. You need to have a real office and a real location in the city you're trying to rank for. Obviously, don't put any fake keywords in there, fake listings, fake accounts, anything like that. Number 3, super important to have a consistent name, address, phone number across the entire profile and your website and any other listings that you do. We'll talk a little bit more about citations in a minute here. Make sure you don't spam the city in your company name. So again, if your company name is ABC Shading, you know that you're not putting ABC Shading, Orlando, Window Shades, Tampa, Miami, Florida, something like that. They would kick you out pretty quickly about that. And then make sure you get reviews. This is a big one that we'll talk about in a couple minutes here as well. So citations. Citations are mentions of your business around the web, typically on other websites that are, in most cases, business directories. So I'll show you some examples in a minute, but the most obvious ones are your Facebook page, your Google Business Profile, of course, and then sites like the Better Business Bureau or Chamber of Commerce or Yahoo Local. There's a whole bunch of these, but just getting your business listed on these other places can influence your Google 3-pack rankings. So very important that you do that. And it's very important that you always use the same name, address, and phone number on every single one of these. There are a lot of these. Currently, we have a list of around 230 of these different sites that we submit our clients to. Here's a small amount of those. Some of those may look familiar, others may not, but it's important to have your business listed on as many of these as you can as time goes on. Now, when it comes to name, address, phone number, again, I mentioned it has to be very consistent to the point where different versions of addresses usually are the problems. So name of your business is pretty much always the name of your business. Phone number is pretty much always the phone number. Address is where it gets a little customizable, I guess. So it's just important that whatever address you use for listing your business, that it's always the same. So if you're going to use 123 Main ST, make sure that you're always using that for every site that you submit your business to. Very important, even though it's kind of minute changes, these are very important to your rankings. Here's an example of a company in Las Vegas who has added in some extra things. So the name of their business is More Shade for Less, but they've added in Sunsetter, Las Vegas dealer, trying to get those extra words in there. They are going to get kicked out probably at some point for doing that. Once one of these other competitors see them doing that in that city, they'll probably flag that account. Here's one in Miami, DID Miami, Dream Interior Designs, Window Treatment, Production, and Installation. That is not the name of their business. So they need to update that. So don't get caught doing that. The way to fix that, if that is happening for your business because you didn't know any better, is to use the suggest and edit button or the own the business button. Obviously, if it's your business, you would use that. If it's suggest and edit, I don't know if I'd recommend this because it's your competitor, right? You don't want to really help them in any way, but you can change the name or other details about their business if they are incorrect. And this is how it shows up in mobile. Put that different information in there, submit that, and Google will get that fixed. Now, when it comes to different tools that you could use to build your own citations, there's a couple of them that are pretty popular: WhiteSpark, MozLocal, BrightLocal, and Yext. Of these, Yext is probably the most well-known. We use BrightLocal for all of our clients and just love the tool. When it comes to building citations, it is a very manual process to submit your business listing to, such and such directory, and then wait for them to come back and say, yes, we approve it. And then wait for Google to index that one site and then multiply that by 230 times. It gets a little bit repetitive, I guess is a good way to say it. So get listed in all of the different citation areas. There are a couple major data aggregators that you can also get your business listed into. And consider using a tool like BrightLocal or one of these others to really get this done a little bit quicker for you. Now, when it comes to local citation ideas, some of these don't show up in some of these bigger tools. So if you're in, the local chamber, the Kiwanis Club, JC's B&I, any of those kind of businesses locally, make sure that you ask those IT people, whoever's doing the website for that organization, that they add your business and that they add it correctly with the right name, address, phone number. You can also Google your city business directory. Maybe somebody's actually built a business directory specifically for your location. That'd be pretty awesome. You can also sponsor events that have websites, get your name listed on that event, like a 5K or a some sort of a run, or maybe a team, maybe a T-ball team, something like that. Sponsor different teams, charities, those kinds of things are great ways to get your business listed on those websites. Next, how to get more reviews. This is always a tough one. How can we get more reviews for our business? Reviews are very important, really, for what we call social proof. And social proof is when people see a lot of other people doing a certain thing, they're more likely to be influenced to do that same thing, right? So when we see these three options for this search, St. Louis Draperies, Sunshine Drapery with 32 reviews, Charlotte's 2 reviews, and the Curtain Exchange with 0 reviews. From a social standpoint or a psychology standpoint, the obvious choice is for you to click the button for Sunshine, right? It's very unlikely they're going to choose either of the other two. Charlotte's has 2 reviews, but only a 3.0 average. And the Curtain Exchange has no reviews. So you have no idea if they're a good or bad business. So having those reviews and having a good amount of those reviews can really help your business generate more leads, more phone calls, just because you've gone through this process. An easy way is just to get a list of your customers, maybe installs that you've done from the last 30 or 60 days, and reach out to them and say, hey, we're a small business. We make our living by getting reviews. And we hope you're happy with your awning or your shading or whatever it happens to be. If you feel that we did a 5-star job, please leave us a review. Here's the link. Right? These kind of things can really help your business increase the amount of leads that come in. As we saw from that previous screenshot, 9 out of 10 calls were from the Google My Business platform. So very important that you get the reviews to increase your chances of showing up in that 3-pack. Obviously, leverage the different tools that are available. So after an install is complete, that you text the customer, that you ask the customer while you're standing there on the back porch for a review. Those kind of things are obviously the best. You may need to train your installers to ask for those reviews, and perhaps even incentivize your installers to ask for those reviews. Obviously, call them after the install is complete, ask them if they have any questions, walk them through the review process, send them an email asking for a review. A lot of different ways to ask for those reviews. Obviously, you can use a tool. In this case, our tool is called Lead Boomerang that does a lot of this heavy lifting for you. But getting that automation and process to ask for those reviews at the end of the install can really help your business grow. Another thing we do is we give every one of our clients business cards, and they're very short and sweet. All they have on them is a QR code. Everybody's familiar with QR codes nowadays. So handing this to them while you're standing in the backyard or while you're standing in the living room and say, are you really like your new porch or your new pergola, whatever it happens to be? Yes, I just love it. We're just so thrilled to have it. Hey, would you mind leaving us a review? Pulling out a business card that has a QR code. Pretty easy way to get that review, and the best time to get it is while you're standing there. So just finishing up, 4 pieces to ranking successfully in the Google 3-pack area. First of all, having those citations, having your Google business profile optimized, getting those reviews. And the one I didn't cover in this particular session, but I talk about it in a lot of my other trainings, is optimizing your website so that it is sending the correct signals to Google. They look at the website, see that if it's been abandoned or if it is up to date, and they use that information to judge whether or not to list you in the 3-pack. Now, one thing I forgot to mention or didn't mention early on is Bing Places. Bing does have a platform called Bing Places, and this is another place that you can get your listings done as well. They've made it really easy. You set up your Bing Places account, and then you can actually import everything from Google My Business into your Bing Places account. So you don't have to go and rebuild the entire thing. You just import it all in there. You might want to change the call tracking number to have a specific number for Bing Places so you can track that as well. But definitely worth your time to get that set up in there. The one thing about Bing is it tends to skew to an older demographic. So if your customers tend to be a little bit older, it's possible that they're using Bing instead of Google as their search engine. So it makes sense to make sure that you are getting in front of them there as well. Now, all of these different things are what we call part of our digital dominance method. There are a lot of pieces to optimizing an account to get it right. Specifically today, we kind of talked through step number 2, which is local SEO, the foundation things that you need to do to really optimize your listing across the web to get more traffic to your website. If you'd be interested in talking more, I'd love the opportunity. I do appreciate Manuela giving me the opportunity to share with you guys. I will be at the Sun Shading Expo in October. And if you want to talk strategy, stop by our booth or shoot the QR code I've got here. And let's talk about what we can do to help you out. Again, thank you so much, Manuela. I really do appreciate the opportunity.
Okay, Will, thank you for your very interesting insights. I think I learned a lot personally, and I hope the others of our attendees as well. So in case you have any questions, just feel free to send me a message or contact Will directly. We both are happy to support your requirements and look forward to meet you in person in Charlotte very soon.